Morning, how are you?
Good morning.
Hello.
Good.
How are you all?
Very good, thank
Very
you.
well. Tell us a bit about yourself.
Hi, well, I'm a registered nutritionist, so a very appropriate topic we're talking about. I work in a variety of fields from weight management to disordered eating, and I'm an author. I've got a recent best-selling book, The Science of Nutrition. So I love talking about this topic. I think nutrition can play a role in how we think and feel every day.
But your background, were you in the music industry prior to doing what you're doing now?
Yeah, so before I even thought about nutrition, it wasn't a career path. I actually was a soprano. I did a lot of singing when I was younger, and sadly, I wish I could say it was the highlight of my life. It actually turned out to be the most detrimental for my mental health. I think I was just exposed to a world of, fatty diets, and sadly in January that seems to happen every year. There's a lot of myths floating around, and my mission now is really to channel what I experienced and learnt. And obviously I've gone on to do my degrees. I've got several degrees in nutrition and health, and really help others decipher fact from fiction.
So can you explain, we talked about Blue Monday there as we strolled across to New Order. Could you explain the link between your gut and mental health?
Absolutely. Such an amazing, fascinating field of nutrition. Now, we know that your gut is like a second brain. I don't know if anyone's ever experienced those butterflies or, nervous jitters you get when you feel something. And we now know that 2 kilos of what you weigh is bacteria. And that bacteria lives within our gut, and it's constantly sending signals up to our brain. So about 70 to 90% of our happy hormone, and the technical name for that is serotonin, but we'll just call it happy hormone, that is created in our gut. So the food that we eat links back to our gut. So basically, I want to make sure that we all eat wonderful food rich in fiber, because our nervous system is there, our immune system is there, and our happy hormone is created in our gut.
Brilliant.
Do you know that the tonin bit of serotonin is actually tonic? That's what it is. It's, yeah.
Where did you
adore you.
A wealth. Wow.
I know that stuff.
You know.
that stuff.
You know your stuff. All right, so should we get tasting? What are we tasting first?
Right, so I've got one here as well, and I think it's been prepped for you all nicely this morning. So we've got a porridge made with lots of flax seeds, we've got lots of fibre, lots of oats, we've got some delicious almond butter. Now, we've made this one with plant-based milks, but the reason that we've put caramelised banana on top is because banana contains serotonin. So that happy hormone is in your bananas that you're eating, and it's just such a simple way to eat in the morning. I've topped it with kefir, so for those of you that are wondering what the yogurt type taste on the top is, that's a fermented yogurt. So very simple, and I think any of you could whip that up in the morning, really.
Why
That's
flax seeds good? What do they do?
So I think for anybody that doesn't consume perhaps oily fish, which is actually a large proportion of the UK, it's not a very popular type of food to consume. It's giving some plant-based forms of healthy fats, and we call these alpha-linoleic acids. So they're healthy omega-3s, and we know that healthy fats build up a large proportion of our brain. So our cell membranes and the structure of our brain is made of fats. So the more we get in the diet, the better. And of course, it's going to feed that bacteria that lives inside our guts. And when I'm talking about bacteria, don't freak out, because it's the good stuff. It's the good bacteria that live there that we want to help.
That is delicious.
Do we like that?
Oh, I adore it.
You like that?
Tremendous.
Are you careful about what you eat, Anton?
I am. I'm careful about what I eat, but also careful about times of eating.
Oh.
Yeah. As certainly as one, I don't want to use the word gets older, but I suppose one does. I think it becomes more important as well.
What do you mean time? So don't eat too late, or...?
All of that, and depends on what I'm doing. If I'm doing a show in the evening, for example, you've got to time your eating correctly and all those sorts of things.
It's funny because when I did Strictly, so all of the how can I put this, less mature dancers, pros, they would eat junk. I could never believe how much junk they would eat, because they're younger, they were just kind of bang. But you were always very particular about what you would eat.
Well, there is an element that, I mean, there's one sort of measure you can always go by is about the calories as opposed times essentially, what do you eat as opposed to how much do you move? And that's always my measurement, is how much have I moved today? Well, that's what determines how much I'm going to eat today. A little, you know,
It's
gently.
a very good rule of thumb.
Well, just as a rule of thumb, yeah, because I
We
think
need to get on to the next
Okay.
dish here. What's the
Where
next
are we
one?
next, then?
We're eating aubergine.
No, it's a pleasure talking about all of this nutrition. It's great. As a performer, it matters. We've got a miso aubergine Buddha bowl. So aubergine is one of my favourite vegetables, but we've marinated it in miso, which is also a fermented type of food. You've got sweet potato on there, some sesame spinach, brown rice and sweet corn. But you can use any veg that you have at home, of course, and chuck it in a Buddha bowl. It's so simple. And the main aspect of this is we've got a bit of kimchi on the side, which is a fermented food. And you should all have with you there as well a glass of kombucha. I think actually, I've got mine here as well. I'm pretty sure the flavour you've got is mango and passion fruit. This is one of my favourites. It's called Remedy kombucha, but it's sugar-free from the fermentation and the brewing process. So kombucha's been around for thousands of years, and it's a fermented food. And you've probably all heard of ferment. Yeah. It's fizzy, it's a tea. So what's happened over the sweet tea process is you get lots of bacterial interactions which create that fizzy kind of flavour. And it's really good for your gut health. So we've got a gut-friendly lunch.
The kombucha is really beautiful. All right, so
Tell us about the last one.
Okay, and then last one, I had to get chocolate in. I think it's Blue Monday tomorrow. You know, we're all feeling a bit low. And again, I used kefir because it's got more bacteria in it as a base. Swirled in some delicious dark chocolate because dark chocolate contains incredible antioxidants, which can trigger a reward pathway in our brain, trigger something called cannabinoids. So it's not endorphins. There's a common saying that I think people have heard of, chocolate gives you endorphins. It's not quite endorphins. It's a similar reaction. And we put lots of dark berries and fruit on top because it's just good to protect your brain and lift your mood.
Tanya, do you eat for performance? You're at the theatre all the time. You did 2 performances yesterday. Do you have to worry about where you eat?
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. I mean, timing is everything, and I try to. I mean, I don't like. I'm particular about what I eat, but it's more because I'm. I don't like to change things up. My tummy doesn't tolerate it. So in the morning, I try not to eat before 10, and I just have fruit. Really, I just have an apple with nut butter every morning. If I change that, I just get a bit funny. And then I have to time it around the show because you need to, I have to sort of digest enough to do a warm-up because the warm-up has to be physical or it has to be vocal and you're using your diaphragm and everything. So if you're full, you just feel... And sometimes you time it badly and if I'm on stage doing the show, just feeling like... oh, my God.
Slightly
because something's off. But I think it's because you've got to... If you have to eat the right things to give you the right kind of energy, so then you're not overdoing the eating because you're grasping for the energy because you're sort of eating the wrong... thing.
And the correct foods as well, it's what I call brain food. Some food are just good for the brain. So if I'm having a day where I've got to learn choreography, for example, I'm going into for a new... I need something... For me, porridge is always a great start. This is a great thing, by the way.
Yeah, that's very good.
I feel like the brain will work as opposed to the brain going, really? Can't we just lie down?
All makes the K cells.
Brilliant.
Thank you very much.
Rhiannon, thank you so much.
Rhiannon.
Lovely to meet you. We will see you again soon, no doubt.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Now, for information on all the recipes featured today, head to our Instagram, which is @Sunday Brunch Food.